Hey, welcome everyone to the Sketch Zone podcast. I'm Carlos. And with us this week, we're going to be talking to a gang of animators, y'all. Hello, and welcome to Adrianna Ford.
What's up?
Welcome, Brynn Sparling.
Hi.
And welcome, Stephanie Gallardo.
Hi. Oh my God, I'm really impressed.
I don't know if I should do the clapping after each.
Yeah, that's why. At first,
for all of you, don't you know?
Collective is good. Collective is good.
At first, I was like, I was gonna wait, and then I saw you kind of hesitate a little bit, and I was like, that's how like we're there. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and run through these. We got this.
I feel it.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk to these guys about this wonderful project that they are working on. But first, let's welcome Jack Kasperzak.
Hello. Thank you for welcome.
And you guys know how we do. Let me clean up my stuff here. But let's go ahead and get into the prompt.
Okay.
Let's go to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe every day's a good day when you paint.
Whoa. That was weird.
All right. So we were not. Oh yeah, we are nothing but high budget here.
Oh,
I
love it.
And by high budget, I mean poor AF. Hey, real quick, shout out to Long Arm and Landon and Steve that are in the chat room. So let's take a look. A couple weeks ago, we weren't here last week. So a couple weeks ago, we did Rotten Wolf Cycling. Let's see what the nation did. I think this one is from a previous one, so we're going to skip this one. But real high, thanks for jumping in. They did, what was it?
It's
something about a shaky hotel room or something.
Only hotel room. The Wander Inn.
The Wander. It's a pirate. Jack, boost up your microphone just a little bit.
Oh man, what's going on?
Maestro, please. Everyone, shallow illustration is in the house. This dude is bonkers.
The sheep's face is fantastic.
Right?
Just like, come on.
Hey, Elizabeth is here. Hi, Elizabeth. I'm going to be busy for a couple of minutes, but I did do the front prompt. Yay! Good for you.
Is that the Elizabeth you guys interviewed a few weeks ago?
We did. Yeah.
Shout out, Elizabeth. Your work's awesome.
Yeah, she's really cool. I really like her. Let's see.
Nice.
Jimmy Dragon Draws. This wolf is very aggressive.
Yeah.
Probably has road rage.
But he looks kind of happy too. Like, I feel like he'd be a better option for Sonic than what we have right now.
Dang.
It needs to be said.
Yeah, no, that's true. That Sonic was a hot mess.
Emphasis on mess.
Let's see what else. Hey-oh. Logie 76. I really like this one. It has a very Warner Brothers feel to it.
Yeah.
Totally, I see it.
Very cool.
I like how he did the background too.
Yeah, with the little, what were the motion lines, and there's even like a subtle
there's dust in there.
Dirt
I didn't
getting kicked up. Yeah.
The details. There's shadow on the dust too.
Yeah.
Dang.
Very well played. Let's see who else. Oh, that's me. So a little
I love it.
yeah. a little backstory. I got accepted, or I was invited to be a part of the Adobe Fresco beta team,
Oh,
and
Not a big deal at all.
Shiloh said that I should do the fun prompt in Fresco, and I said I'll take that challenge.
Clever.
So it was a rotten wolf cycling, and so I was trying to go for the whole zombie dog thing.
oh,
Yeah, the little tailbone.
Right.
right.
It was like a flap of skin flapping over from the other side.
He's dying, but he's happy about it.
He's rotten. He's rotten. Anyway, more on that in a little bit.
Yeah,
Adobe Fresco. Hey, thanks, Shiloh. Dave Atsy. Hi, Dave. Yeah, I'm still a huge fan of Dave's work. He's very silly.
Yeah,
so
it's almost like a comic panel.
Yeah. Gotta love a good arch.
You're right.
The little spinning spokes here, I think he did a really good job.
Yeah, that was a
too.
clever way.
Yeah.
All right, let's see who else. Joey Law.
That's
really
cute.
Fave.
I really like this.
Fave.
And I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'm a little too crazy right now, but this as a wallpaper, like a patterned wallpaper or something.
Yeah. Oh,
You know what I mean? Like maybe this is gonna sound weird, but maybe in a bathroom or something like that. I think as a wallpaper,
No,
this
totally.
would be legit.
I can see that. Like
see
all
that.
little
So
planets and different wolves on cycles or different vehicles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That would
yeah.
be so cute.
Yeah.
All right, you guys got to do it now.
It's like a bedtime story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
It
Well,
does.
I feel that.
Joey's probably going to be logging in here in a little bit, and he's in England, and he
Whoa.
usually will wake up and then watch us as he's getting ready for work.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll probably be seeing him. He'll be chiming in here in a little bit.
What time is it in England? What's the time?
9 plus, what is it, like 7 or 8 hours? Let's say 8 hours.
So it's 16 over there.
It is 5 a.m.
5 a.m. Yeah.
Jeez. So
That's
early.
Early.
Yeah.
That's love. That's a loving hour to be awake.
I'm telling you. All right. So, we need to
Let's do
talk.
this.
We need to talk, nation.
Oh,
So here, I'm gonna do a heartfelt. We're gonna have a heart to heart.
Oh, man.
Nation, listen. We called it a fun prompt on purpose. You're supposed to have fun. When we pick 3 categories, you can do a play on the categories. You can do any part of the category, anything. It's up to you. Have fun. Just have it be a little bit, like if we're drawing rotten wolves, maybe a sunshine isn't really going to help us out. You know what I mean? Have fun. It's okay. It's okay.
I felt that.
all that to say.
All that to say, all right, we got
fun.
ladies, each one of you, please.
Ooh.
If you select one of these categories, I will check it, and then when I hit prompt me, it's going to give us something for the what are you trying to say, Carlos? I'm trying to say long arm. I'm trying to say that one of these days you're going to do a fun prompt and we're going to love it.
I like the positivity.
It's all gonna be sunshine and rainbows.
Look, you can draw just about anything and just tag us, and we'll probably share it.
Well, okay. Look, okay. Another heart to heart.
Challenge accepted.
Uh-oh.
Oh no,
Nation.
here we go. Round 2.
Nation, listen. I understand that it's exciting, and we purposely leave the fun prompt up so you can do your own exercises. But the Instagram thing, That's for every week. So it doesn't so it flows. So we all take a look at stuff. Do not take it personally. If you tag us in some artwork that maybe you did on the fun prompter, we will definitely double tap heart that. We might even follow you. But it gets confusing if we're doing rotten wolves, rotten wolves, rotten wolves, and then there's a sunshine. You see what I'm saying? It's cool. It's a fun prompt. Have fun.
One of the sun is rotting the wolf.
Ooh.
and that makes sense. That part makes
Fair.
sense.
Okay, I just wanted to.
Thanks for chiming in there. You're ruining my heart to heart. What are you doing?
Okay. I'll mute myself now.
Oop. I got excited and I hit the stop button. All right, ladies. If you there's 3 of you, we can do either 2 or 3 categories. If you guys would like, please select a category. What's going to happen is I'm going to check the categories that you pick, and then I'm going to hit prompt me, and then it's going to give us the name or whatever for that category. Cool?
Down.
What are you feeling?
Yeah. Brynn, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm feeling character.
Character.
Nice.
Bam.
Steph, what you got?
Gotta go with action.
See, I like where we're going. All right. No pressure, Adrianna.
I know, this is the big one, the final countdown. I'm going to go with style.
If you said location, we're gonna have words.
Now, nation, take it easy. Don't get all worked up.
I feel like style is really going to challenge this one.
I want to see like an aggressive McDonald's drawing.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Let's see. How about a bounty hunter itching? What is Sumi?
Sumi, I don't even know. I'm looking
It's
at the
Japanese style of painting. It's that
Oh,
black ink brushwork.
Yes.
The melancholy
Oh, this
of
is
an
gonna
itch
be
is so good.
amazing.
Oh,
That's
I'm
a
good
so
one.
excited for this.
Like
Let's do it.
that. There you go.
Amazing.
Sumi.
That's a good. Okay, that's cool.
I like it
That
a
is solid.
lot. You know
I'm not
why?
saying we're great at picking categories, but like, wow.
You guys
Good
crushed
segue
it.
perfectly into what you're about to talk about, Carla.
I know, right?
Yes.
Hold on. I need the outro theme. Let's show the. And you also didn't do. You got to do Elizabeth's. She's
Oh,
on the
yeah.
chat, hoping to see it live.
Oh, hold on. Let's check. Hang on. Too late, Jack. Haha. Okay, hold up.
It's never too late.
Not for us, it's not. We are a fine-tuned machine.
Yeah.
We don't get it.
Oh, you know
Hear
what?
us rattle down the streets.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is definitely worth sharing. I really like this one. Hang on. Do 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 do
Oh, were you really gonna be
do.
like, well, this is trash?
Yeah,
Oh no.
yeah. No pressure.
You
Those
made
are
us
so
stop the
good,
show.
amazing.
You made us stop the show. This is French for garbage.
Did you get it at Target?
Yeah.
Total side note, have you guys noticed on the recent Target commercials, they put the accent over the Target sign
No.
to,
What?
to
They're doing
reference
that?
Target?
Guys.
That's
Nice.
weird.
Someone
Yeah.
Look at
finally woke
them.
up.
They're like
Look at them trying to.
They're trying to reach
be
the kids.
pop culture and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I'm here for it though. I'm a sucker for those commercials. The story, the dance, the art.
All right, let's see.
Okay,
Refresh.
Ooh, here we go.
Bam, son.
Nice.
That's a
Hey.
T-shirt. I would put that on
Yeah.
a T-shirt.
Hell yeah.
That is so cool.
Hell yeah. It's a
Someone
t-shirt.
dog agrees.
It's a yeah. It's a t-shirt, but it has to say like wild hogs on it or something.
Yeah.
Nice. I like
Very nice job, Miss Elizabeth.
All right. So what do we end up with?
We ended up
Only the
with
best prompt ever.
bounty hunter itching in a Sumi.
I I'm so excited for this.
in a
I'm
Sumi
doing this
art
one.
style. Hell
Please
yeah.
do, Steph. Oh my
I'm
gosh, you
so
look
doing
amazing.
it.
Steph, you have to.
Nice.
Boom.
Let's go to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe every day's a good day when you paint.
Hey, so speaking of Sumi art style,
Hmm.
I like this transition.
your boy was invited to be a part of the beta of Adobe what you call it? Adobe Fresco.
What is that?
Someone's dog is who is that?
Oh, sorry. Let me close that.
All good.
I kind of live on a farm. We
Nice.
have like 3 dogs, 4 chicken. No, 3 dogs, 4 cats, and 7 chickens. Okay.
Where are you down in Southern California?
Yeah, I'm in Fontana.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. Pretty dope.
We have goats and cows.
Partridges and pear
We used to have
trees.
chickens next door.
Oh no. We have chickens over here and we don't even live in the country. And then
Oh yeah, we don't either.
and
We're
then-
all in California.
yeah.
Chick-fil-A.
So Adobe Fresco is pretty legit. I would show you guys, but I can't.
Oh.
But
Man.
but I think I can show. I'm gonna start sharing some of the videos and stuff because it also records as you draw.
Ooh.
But this application is what's the one that they have out now? Adobe Draw.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that's a little bit more like Photoshop, isn't it? There's one that's like Illustrator and one that is somewhat like so Adobe Sketch is the vector one. No, Adobe Sketch is the one that's bitmap. Yeah. Adobe Photoshop Sketch. So this is way better than that. If you've ever used Adobe Sketch, wait for this one. Fresco is blowing the doors off of this. One, it has a bunch of brushes, everything from pencils to everything. But then they have these ones that are called like the live brushes or whatever. If you're painting with oil paint, with an oil brush, it will like if you put down a color and then you change the color, the next strokes that you put down will affect the color, and you're pushing paint around.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
And then the watercolor is just as stupid. Watercolor is just as stupid. You put down water or you put down like some pigment, and then you go and then you can adjust how wet your brush is, and that will also then affect the pigment. And then if you take the what's it called when you take all the color all the way off, I forget. It's in Photoshop.
Erase?
No. When you erase it, no. No, like when you, I'm going to try to open up Photoshop so I'm not talking out of the side of my mouth, but you can take the pigment all the way out. So then you're basically just painting with water. And if you have two colors, you can hit it with the clear water and it affects the paints too.
No.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, that's
But one of the and what's funny is one of my favorite tools is the pencil tool.
So all that greatness, and you just want the
All that greatness in the pencil tool is legit.
It's like when
And
the
flow. That might be it. That might be it, Steve. I'm gonna take a look right now. But yeah, and what's cool is if you put down some pencils and then you go over it with the watercolor will affect what you did with the pencil.
No way.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Dude.
It's bananas. It's bananas. Yeah, flow.
So how
Exactly,
does
Steve.
it compare to Procreate's wet
Ooh.
canvas?
We're asking the hard questions.
I don't know if I'm doing the oil brushes with Procreate the right way. Quite honestly, because it's not like the effect. I don't think the effect is the same. Whereas, I'm going to tell you for real, I'm going to try to incorporate Adobe Fresco with my Artist Alfresco series, because now with the oil brushes, I can see myself sitting somewhere in a landscape with my iPad and just throwing down and doing like oil paints of the environment. And you know how I get when people pick location on the fun prompter. You know, I get ignorant. I know it's not my favorite. But yeah, it's gonna be cool. And if you guys remember, we had Marco Bucci. He came on the show and he was talking about all of his art classes and just his YouTube channel. If you're into painting at all, you need to check out Marco Bucci. I am going to basically rip him off. I'm going to do all his tutorials and then I'm going to push it all out there as if it were my own. I'm not going to redo the tutorials. I'm going to just like show off.
The intentions of Carlos are not representative of Get Known Podcast.
Yeah, but no, you should if you haven't checked out Marco Bucci's YouTube channel in a while, you really should. He's got this really cool one where he drew a picture. It was like a cartoon version of himself, and he really like stretched it out a little bit. And he talks about painting with just or creating a painting just by using the lasso tool and creating shapes, and he paints his own face. That dude is ridiculous. That dude is ridiculous. He drives me crazy. But anyway, I can see where artist not Artist Alfresco, that's my shit, but I can see where Adobe Fresco would work very well with a lot of the projects that I'm working on, just because of the look that you end up having. And that little goofy wolf thing that I did last week, that was just the beginning. That was the first one I ever did in that application. So I couldn't sleep last night, so I just picked up my iPad and I legit painted a landscape.
Look at you.
Yeah. I can't show it because I'm not allowed to show the interface. I hope I don't get kicked out of the program, but
can you show the image though?
Yeah, let me see if I can, if I didn't throw it away.
When is it set to be released?
I don't know. But they're close. If you guys ever look at my iPad, you're gonna be like, what the hell is going on with you? I've been watching Billions. Have you guys ever heard of the show Billions?
Yeah.
Heard of it, never seen it.
No, it's great. No, so I deleted the landscape. I guess I woke up and then threw it away. Oh, hold on.
It was trash.
It was very trash.
Proof or it didn't exist.
They were live the whole time.
Okay,
I have a
let me
question.
see.
Do the both of you work on iPads or like tablets or something like that?
I used to be when I first got my iPad, I like really worked it for like a good year and a half. I've kind of fallen off a little bit just because I just spend more time at a desk. So recently, it's just been the Cintiq.
We have
let's-
proof.
Yeah,
So there you go.
The Cintiq.
That's I don't know if I'm trying to get it with no glare, but yeah.
yeah, it's a little hard to see, but kind of looks cool.
Yeah.
Hey
Yeah.
Google, turn off front office.
You got it. Turn the front
Okay,
office off.
does that?
Hey Google, buy popcorn.
You're right. What I'm trying to do is get in super close so you guys can see the brush strokes, because that's what's kind of cool, kind of impressive. There, that's
Oh yeah.
probably about as good. So there's other things that I think I'm going to end up using this for. So I've been a big fan of like Warner Brothers and hey Google, turn on front office. I've been a fan of like Warner Brothers and stuff. Specifically, their backgrounds are just magnificent pieces of art. So I can see where using this to create backgrounds and then animating on top of that, that's going to be the move. So, so yeah, so there. I'm going to be using Fresco for many of my projects.
That's good. I'm excited to try it out.
Yeah. Actually, while we're here, let's see. When will Adobe Fresco be released?
It pins and needles name sleeping on.
We'll find
And
out.
it's iPad only.
But so far, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. Adobe has a tendency to lean more towards iPads anyway, just because I think
Yeah.
iPads and artists, I think artists have a tendency to lean more towards iPads.
I'll let Landon hear you.
Well, I said artist.
Oh,
Shots
heard him say your mouth.
fired.
Hey Google, we need some ice.
Just shots fired. Excuse me, Google. How do you spell? No, fight.
So will you guys go out to draw more, like with
Yeah.
your iPads and stuff?
Oh, completely. And not only that, but one of the things that I do is when I'm watching TV at night, I have my iPad there, and depending on what's happening in my brain, sometimes I would just sit there drawing shapes and just scribbling, and sometimes this is the story that I was going to go with the Billions thing. I was watching Billions, and now I have a I don't think I'm going to be spoiling anything because they do this like 5 minutes into the entire series, but I have Paul Giamatti with a gimp ball jammed in his mouth.
Oh, dang.
But with the sun and a rainbow behind him, right?
And a rotten wolf.
Just cruising by in the background.
So funny.
That's cool though. So you just keep it handy so as soon as like inspiration strikes,
Yep.
you go for it.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. I mean, I can honestly say because of the iPad, my art has gotten way better super fast. All you have to do is scroll down my Instagram just a little bit and you'll be like, yeah, okay, yeah, he's right.
He's cool.
They're like, did this dude's page just get hijacked?
Is Landon posting on Carlos's feed?
Ooh.
See, I have to.
Is that to make up for?
For dragging him.
So as far as you guys and your project, we'll get into the project itself here in a little bit, but what kind of software are you guys using for yours?
Ooh, Steph, do you want to answer first since you've been working on the storyboards?
Yeah. So I got my iPad pretty close to when we actually started working on this stuff. So I was just researching a ton of apps that I could use.
Mhm.
And the first one I came across was Do Ink, like DOINK. And it's more of an app for kids, but that's what I did the first round of storyboards on, and it was a little bit of a nightmare because you can't like space out a single frame, like it's just one frame after the other.
Yeah.
But for kind of getting in the flow of it, it was really cool because it was just going through, and that was the first like completed storyboards I had ever done. But then I found Rough Animator. I don't know if you guys have heard of that.
Oh yeah.
We
Yeah.
talked about that a little on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone I know that does like logo designs and stuff, like animated logos, uses that. So that's what we've been
Really?
using since. Yeah.
Cool.
And that's what I use for like all my Instagram stuff. It's just all on that because you can import images and audio, which is really nice.
Have you heard of what's the other one? There's this one that just got super popular that I started looking at. Where did it go? Because this is where I get to learn. Flip a Clip. Have you heard of that one yet?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
No. Flip a Clip is basically Rough Animator, but a little bit different. Like the interface is different, but the approach is the same. So I was literally researching them because in the Mac App Store, they're both like $4.99 or something.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see. I've been researching to see which one people like better, and I was hoping that you had seen it because those are the top two that I've been seeing is Rough Animator and Flip a Clip.
No, but I'm definitely going to try it after this.
Flip a Clip has a free level where you can do some animating and stuff like that. But then they have in-app purchases. But I think it's $4.99 or $5.99, and you get the whole thing. No ads, no nothing. So
That's not bad considering what Toon Boom is significantly more than that.
yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a lot.
Also, here's something that you might want to look into too. I literally just did this today. There is this open source storyboarding app called Storyboarder.
Oh wow.
Landon also uses that. He just showed me something he was working on in that.
Cool.
It's
Yeah.
like kind of a cool program, and it connects directly with Photoshop. So like,
Yeah.
your stuff is live, kind of in Photoshop.
And one of the cool things that you can do with that, like bringing that in with the iPad, you can open up, you can do file create something, whatever it's called, but you can set up your storyboards to however many squares you want, and then you can print it out, and that has a little code on it. So then that way,
Oh,
yeah.
genius.
So then that way, what you do is you draw on. You can do it a couple different ways, and I'm going to explain both of the ones that I'm doing. But
Okay.
you create the storyboard, and it has a little QR code on it. So then when you're done drawing, you can scan it and then feed it back into Storyboarder, and then it populates your frames for you.
Crazy.
That's neat.
Is
We are in the future right now.
Hello.
Dude.
But then check this out. This is how you can do it for your iPad. And I have some storyboards set up in Procreate. If you create those, and I'm stuttering because I'm trying to find it here. Okay, here. Okay, so I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that, but
Oh yeah.
I think the QR code. Yeah.
right? So there's the QR code, and I have this in Procreate. So now I can actually go through and do all my storyboards, And now
Ah.
I don't have to scan it anymore. I do my storyboards, send the JPEG. Look at, we're about to lose Adrianna.
I know. She's losing her mind.
She's
We're
like,
freaking out, guys.
open source? What?
This is amazing.
Yeah. So then there's a QR code. So then what you do is in Procreate, you do your storyboards and then you export it out as whatever you want, JPEG or PNG, and then you go back to your main computer and you feed that into your storyboarder app or program, and then it then populates.
So
And
as
like
long as
Jack
you leave
was
that
saying,
QR on there.
yeah,
Dang.
and like
That's
Jack
great.
was saying, you can take all your rough sketches and then you feed it in, and then now you have all your frames in Storyboarder. And Storyboarder's brushes are fine. If you didn't know any better, you'd like them. But since we all know better, what you can do is you right click, say edit in Photoshop, opens up in Photoshop. All of the layers are there. They have your pencils, they have your roughs, they have your inks, they have your notes layer, and they have like the marker rendering layer. I don't know what they call it, but the value layer maybe. So everything is there, and then when you save it in Photoshop, by the time you switch back over to Storyboarder, everything is there, and it's open source. It's bonkers.
That's wild.
And you don't even have to. Here, we're going hella cheap right now. Storyboarder is free,
Word.
and then
What?
you instead of Photoshop, you can tell it to use Sketchbook as your go-to. Sketchbook is free, so now
Yes,
you're
it is.
doing storyboarding, roughs, inks, values, all that stuff in either Photoshop or Sketchbook. Sketchbook is free. You send it over, and you're off and running.
I don't even know what to say to you right now.
I'm literally taking notes. Like,
Yeah, me too.
if I'm looking down, I'm writing.
That is so sick. We have
That
to
is
tell
so
Austin about that too. That's legit.
I know. My God. That's
I'm in
wild.
love with that.
So now that we've told you how to do it for free, how
What
did
are you
y'all
guys
do your
doing?
project?
What are you guys doing?
D.
Yeah. Oh, is it me? Oh man.
Yeah, that's you.
Let's see. It was last August, wasn't it? Steph?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
It's almost been a year. I contacted Steph online and I was like, hey, buddy old pal, we should meet up for coffee. So we ended up going to Starbucks and I told her about this crazy idea for a short I've been working on. And we've been kind of going with it since. So it's called Strings. I'm in love with it. I've turned into a mom. So like
For the
I'm always
record,
trying
it helps.
It does, because if you don't like it, it becomes a huge chore.
For real.
But yeah, it's about this doll who's been walking around in the park and she like falls and gets hurt and the hand helps her up. And as she walks away, like she feels a tug and she turns and there's a string attached. And so she's running, trying to get away, and finally gets away and then ends up in some more shenanigans. And the whole premise of the story is really help if there are strings attached. Ooh.
Ah,
I like it.
clever.
Yeah. I'm excited. It's been Stephanie and I have been working on it for a year. Brynn, you jumped on like October, November, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been our baby for a year now. We're still working on it.
And how did you guys meet?
APU college.
Yep,
Yeah.
we went to D. I was trying to remember. Was it life drawing that we had together? What class?
No, it was Intro to Animation with Net Lot.
Was that one? Yeah.
It was. Yeah, because okay, so I was graduating that year. I had enough space for one class, and APU just started their first animation class. It was their first one. And so I was
With
like,
Tony.
I'll join. Tony! So I was like,
Tony.
I'll go. And it literally changed the course of my life, which is awesome, but also inconvenient when you're a senior graduating with a degree. That is not at all what you set up for. So yeah, that's how I met Stephanie. And then Brynn, what class did we take together?
Painting one.
Yes, that's how Brynn and I met.
Brynn and I met in a Blaze pizza. place, and it was amazing.
It was a kismet. It was beautiful.
Sorry, there's a conversation happening. Sorry, Landon, I was just kidding. Landon said that he did a whole blog post with details on how to use Storyboarder.
Oh. Drop that link, Landon.
Yeah.
Do it. It's
Landon,
okay, Landon,
Landon is the newest member of the team, and he's been getting hazed for a while now.
When will it
Initiation.
end? When will it end?
All right,
Hold
so
on,
let's go
hold on.
individually. Let's go. What was it? Let's start with Adrianna, since she's the one who started this whole thing. Did you always want to direct a short or animation?
No. My family's really artsy. My brother can look at an instrument and suddenly know how to play it. My mom's a poet. Both my dad and sister are artists. And so I just always thought it was really type A. And then I ended up in Ned's class for fun and flipped out, and the heavens opened and doves descended on my shoulder. And so I graduated trying to figure out how I was gonna like make this work.
Something tells me you were really good at drama class.
Oh, just a little bit. Just a bit. That was the adjective my mom used to describe me when I graduated, because we all had to give an adjective.
Yeah.
For junior high, and mine was dramatic. So.
You got labeled.
Yeah. You
Right.
gotta own it. If you don't, it's gonna be rough. But so yeah, Ned got us into. Ned was awesome. He was so cool. He actually was able to get us into the Annies as like helping work backstage and stuff. And so that really like just showed me how attainable it could be, And so
Yeah.
I started working on that. And then when I contacted Steph, the goal was for us to kind of work together and for me to actually grow more in my art. And as it started progressing, it was like, oh no, I think I'm in charge. I think I'm directing this. So it's been really interesting, because I had no idea that would end up being my role. But it's been a lot of fun. I actually really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
That's the story.
So there.
I remember in that first meeting, Dee was kind of like telling me like what she wanted her roles to be, and I'm like, oh, so you're gonna be like the director producer, and she's like, what? And I'm like, you're doing the job already. Like, this is what you are. That's your title.
Yeah, it took me a while to accept it.
How about you, Brynn?
Brynn?
Did you grow up wanting to be an animator?
I just wanted to draw mostly. I used to sit in front of like, I don't know if that Spirit started in the Cinnamon movie. They had those videos of James Baxter like drawing out Spirit, and I think that movie especially kind of is what made me so interested in drawing. And I would watch that. And I'd use like drawing books. So like I knew I wanted to draw. Animation kind of came around in college because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I went into college undecided. And then they had my degree's in visual arts, but they have an animation track through visual arts at the time. I don't know if it's the same now. So I thought this is what most interests me. Like I wasn't as interested in the painting tracks or the interdisciplinary, the more fine art tracks. I knew I wanted to do something that was more commercial. And that's how I ended up here.
I paid her to talk about Spirit.
I was gonna say. Do you guys know what project Jack is working on right now?
I do not.
Monsters Incorporated. I'm just kidding.
Aww. Oh, there's another one?
I was like, don't tease me.
Spirit. It's a Spirit TV show. That's the only reason.
The one on Netflix, yeah.
Comment.
Oh yeah.
Look at
so cool.
all of a sudden Stephanie got hella serious. She's like happy and stuff. Oh, I work on Spirit for Netflix. She's like,
well, I'm just so fascinated with like, okay, so like my background's in film, and so they had us talk a lot about the industry, and like we had several classes on like Netflix and like how it's changing the industry in film. And I feel like that's
Yeah.
very much so for animation too. Like
Yeah.
they
No, for
they're
sure.
starting, I feel like they're starting small, but they can go so far. And it's only gonna get bigger. And I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a weird beast, Netflix. I don't know that anybody really knows how it works. I don't even know if Netflix knows how it works, to be
They
honest.
don't.
Definitely not.
They're doing a lot of stuff just by the seat of their pants,
But
which
they're doing
is
it
cool
so
and
well.
exciting in its own way.
Yeah.
It's unpredictable, which is really nice in an industry where everything can seem a little routine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
So, Steph, you said something about being in film and wanting to be in film. You went to school for film?
Yeah, I took my 2 last years in high school. I was the head of a broadcasting. Well, not only my senior year, I was the head, but we had a broadcasting class in our school where we had to put out a news situation with like 3 stories every Friday, and it got shown to the entire school before we left for the weekend. So it was
Nice.
a lot of pressure to say the least. And kind of kick-started filmmaking. I've always been attracted to story, and like my dad and I would bond going to see movies, and he liked action movies, which meant they weren't always the best. It's true, but you know what? Terminator 2 was like, that one was bomb. So thank God for that. But
A
yeah.
Mr. Gallardo in the chat room said, "That's it. No more movies for you. You're grounded." Does that mean anything to you at all?
No. He knows his taste. He knows. But he enjoys good ones too, so. But yeah, so after everyone kind of told me like, you're gonna do film, like that's just what you're gonna do, and then it kind of was like, oh, maybe so. So then I went to APU for film, and 2 years in is when that class happened with Lend Lot, and that's when I was kind of becoming disenchanted with the film industry and like the type of people that go into film. I feel like I'm talking really badly about them. There's a lot of great people in it.
I was gonna say,
I was like, it's a good thing you're independent then, because you're about to.
Bye, everybody. I hate everyone. It was very competitive in a way that I wasn't.
Yeah.
And so I've always drawn. My family's not particularly artsy, but my brother always was. He's a tattoo artist and always has been.
Ooh, nice.
And so he kind of was always the one to be like, are you drawing? What are you drawing? And then when the class happened and we got taught how to animate by Tony Bancroft, like that was my heavens opening of descending.
Yeah, that guy, he's all right. Tony Bancroft, he's all right.
Yeah, he's all right.
Hoomba guy.
But I remember specifically, like, it was such a challenge for me. I didn't think I could do it.
Which blows my mind because you're phenomenal. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
I'll take all the praise because some days I really
team building.
But yeah, one day we were doing the walk cycle and I completely put it off until an hour before the class. And I was like, I have to do it. Like, I can't not show up with anything that's going to look terrible. So I did it, and it came out so smoothly, and it all just went so perfectly. And he was like, yeah, this is good. Just make sure you have the ears bounce when the bunny, because it was a bunny walk cycle, when the bunny walks. And it felt so right. And I'm like, this is it.
Is that secondary animation?
Yeah. For real.
Carlos has got a video. He's trying to plug it.
What?
What's the video, Carlos? Share with the class.
You have a video?
I don't know. Do I?
Oh, come on. You had a secondary animation video.
Coy.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Yeah. Don't act like you don't know.
So deep in the
No,
heart,
look
you
at
didn't even know.
I make so much stuff all the time that
That's true.
I
Okay.
kind of
Okay, pump the brakes.
I kind of forget that I've done things.
Oh man.
I'm so
just
creative.
so
It
busy all
flows
the
out of
time.
me.
That's right. So if you go to youtube.com/coconut justice, you'll see what Jack is talking about. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I can relate to that story. I kind of had this moment in college where I was like a big 2D guy, and I was always just wanting to draw and wanting to do 2D stuff. And then I took like the first 3D CG character animation thing, and I was moving this pre-made rig, and I just had this like sudden weird sensation. I was like, I'm a god. I can move the puppet. And it was like this really cool thing, you know. It was like this moment where I was like, that feels right. Okay, all right.
I want to ask every animator, what was your "I'm a god" moment?
I know, right?
See,
Jack, I feel like you should wear a Thor costume now. It would just fit the story so much more.
a Thor costume.
Yeah.
I should have a mouse that's shaped like a giant hammer.
Yes. Oh my gosh, this needs to happen.
Or
It'll
a,
be your new logo.
or a Wacom pen that's like a hammer.
That would be better.
You know what's funny is now that I've gone a little deeper with this whole animation thing, my god moment was when Animate was still Flash, and I had
And you're going Old Testament with your God story.
yeah. So then, like, me and God were sitting around. He's like, "Watch this," and all of a sudden there was light. I was like, "Yo, that's dope, son."
Embrace it, Carlos. Just own it.
Like back when it was Flash, and you could take and you would draw, right, and then my run cycle was 4 frames long, like 4 frames, and it was the same one. I just like erased the little part of the leg and then added a line to the other leg, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And then
How
you let it go, and you're like, "That's it. I'm about to change the world."
I've seen it all. I'm ready.
I am the best. Disney should be calling me.
Right. I'll just
Yeah.
wait by the phone.
I'll make sure to leave the do not disturb off for when Disney calls.
Really cool. I'll make sure my secretary answers, which is just
Right.
her voice.
Oh man.
So then and for those of you that are watching later, I just posted, I think it's the video that Jack was talking about. But yeah,
I don't know. You've done so many. I can't.
We just can't
watch
keep up.
it.
That's a lot.
Hey, watch your sass.
Okay.
We're just trying to get to your level, Carlos. That's all.
Hey, it's a long climb. Just keep going. All I can tell you is just keep going.
I feel like Miley Cyrus sing about this moment. I'll just have to listen to that song again.
Miley Cyrus?
The Climb.
Oh, I thought you were talking Wrecking Ball.
Wow. Now I just want to make that work like so bad.
Nice.
There are 2 types of people in the world.
Climbing up and tearing down.
I'll just bring your level down to my level.
So how big is you guys' animation team?
It depends on what day it is.
What?
Fair enough.
Because so we have so if we talk about people who are actively working on the piece, it's the 3 of us, and then we have another pre-production team member. His name's Austin Smith. We have a consultant, Jordan Raskin. You can find him on Jordan Raskin Instagram. He's legit, so much fun. He's a storyboard artist with Nickelodeon and stuff. We ran into him in a coffee shop once, and then kind of harassed him until he offered to check on our work every once in a while. And then we have Brandon Cochran and Sean Monsalve. They help with the music. Yasha does Movima Productions. She's our producer. And then we have 3 interns who are starting in September.
Nice.
That's quite a team.
Wow.
Yeah, we're kind of
pretty
big, which really surprised me when we first started. Because I think Stephanie and I thought it was just going to be us for a while. And then
Yeah.
it like almost quadrupled in number. So it was really cool.
Do you guys still like for folks that maybe didn't get the joke or the punchline about Tony Bancroft? Tony Bancroft is one of the Bancroft brothers who's just this amazing 2D animator, used to work at Disney, and he's just a badass. I want to say, I think it was Tony who I did a character design class. He had a
Nice.
Kickstarter. He did a Kickstarter. It was either him or his brother, one of the two, but I think it was Tony. And I did a character design class, and it was just really cool. So it was a Kickstarter that I jumped in on, and I did the level where he would do like a small character design class and then give you feedback on your artwork and stuff like that. So I was joking around. This guy is like the real deal. Like if you are in 2D animation at all, he's one of the people you want to be following. With that being said, do you guys still go back to some of your instructors for guidance? Do you guys have that support system?
Yeah,
I know.
I definitely do.
I've been harassing Tony since we really started on the project, and he's actually who helped us get the interns, because he's now in charge of animation at APU. He's the head of the animation department. And
cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. He's let me speak in his classes. He takes a look at all our biz devs, our character designs, things like that. So it's been really cool being able to mess with him. Be like, hey, I have a question. You know, he's such a down-to-earth guy. You wouldn't expect that from someone who's done everything.
Yeah. Actually, Jack and I met them both at CTN a couple years ago.
Nice.
And I was like, "Oh, hey!" When we bumped into them at their booth, hey, blah blah blah. And I was like, "Dude, I'm a huge fan." Blah blah blah. And kid like coming at him, like, "Oh my god, I love you." And then for the rest of the weekend, he would see me in the hallways and just be like looking over his shoulders.
He just downplayed a little more.
Just,
little,
you know,
I have to, yeah.
Drama much.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's good people for sure.
Brynn, who do you still talk to?
So I took a class at the Animation Guild during my junior year, so I'm still in contact with some people I know down there.
Nice.
And they kind of look at my stuff when I have it to share. And I go back. APU does art shows all the time for the seniors, so I like to go back to those and just reconnect with my professors and just kind of show them things, talk about kind of what's going on. So I also have a lot of their cell phone numbers and Instagrams, so I kind of keep in contact with a lot of people, or try to as much as possible.
We just stalk our professors.
How you got to do it?
What? Hang on.
Landon's asking, what is APU for those who don't know?
Oh man,
Azusa Pacific University. It's in Southern California.
Azusa.
No, he's that's the guy who owns a convenience store on The Simpsons.
Yep.
You got it.
That's normally what happens when you Google it the first time. Did you get that guy?
That's probably why Landon's asking, because he's like, I can't find it on the internet.
We got our degree.
Call him getting our memes.
And it's awesome. No, APU is a small Christian university in Azusa.
Beautiful, beautiful
Nice.
campus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not messing around with the animation program because they have Tony Bancroft there.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to do a shout out to Christian too, because he's the one that really kick-started. He's like, I want to do animation, and I'm going to this school. So how can we make this happen? Because he was in film. Christian Wayne, yes.
Yeah.
So he really spearheaded it. He got the art department and the film department together, which is how I made all of my art friends through that. But yeah, he started it. He got Ned Lott on board, and then Ned got Tony, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that we just started working on a ton of content. Like he was teaching us the basics, and then we all started working on a trailer for a movie that Christian was directing. But yeah, so I think props is deserved for that, because after that it just took off for sure.
Yeah, was that the trailer you worked on with Tom Kenny? Was that one?
Yes, he did some of the voices, right?
I wasn't there for
really?
that. I'm younger than them, and there was a period of time where like Tony and Ned weren't there, and then they came back. But I kind of missed that window of when they were present. So
that was like a weird window.
Yeah, like 2 years or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
2 years of begging Tony, please, please.
That's a cool resource to just like have access to.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And just being able to just being able to reach out to someone like that, be like, yeah, hey, we're working on this thing. I listen to their podcast quite a bit too, and they've been I remember how they were talking about trying to, not that 2D is dead, but they were talking about how to revive it and the popularity of it. And they were trying to figure out the discussion specifically that day was they're trying to guess who was going to come out the box with the thing that reignited the love for 2D. And they were talking about, what was that one project, Jack, a couple of years ago, the steampunk. There was an Indiegogo for a steampunk 2D animation. You guys remember?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
I can't remember the name, but yes, they talk about it all the time. That and Klaus, they were like pointing.
Klaus is going to be a big thing when that hits.
It's releasing on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Hullabaloo.
Hullabaloo, yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Hullabaloo.
Hullabaloo.
Here, I'm gonna put a link right there so you guys can follow up with that. And even that is just simply beautiful. I wonder, James Lopez, shout out to James Lopez. We're not done yet, still having exciting things to offer. La la la. I wonder where they are with that, because it would be amazing. I love something as simple as like what they're doing with some of the 2D cartoons that are on TV now, when they have like something that's 3D, but they have it looking somewhat like 2D, and then it just moves through. What they're doing right now is just really cool. I like the mashup that's happening.
I'm excited.
I usually hate the combination because it's so jarring to me for it to have 3D and 2D. But I feel like now we're getting into a time that like they're merging it well enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was watching, I don't know if you watch anime, but there's a show called Promise Neverland, and they have basically, it's a camera following the back of a character through halls, and they're like turning and stuff. And so the environment is 3D, but the person is animated, and it just it was like shocking because it was like we're following the character through space in a way we've never done before. So I feel like it's hard to marry.
Yeah, they're definitely getting to a point where it's almost seamless. I mean, I think a trained person from the industry can usually tell, but I think for the most part, it's mostly seamless.
And
I just like they're using it in new ways.
Wait, what'd you say, Steph?
I like that they're using it in new ways where they're showing like 3D is doing it for the environment, which it does really well.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Right.
like, do you guys remember Code Lyoko?
Oh, whoa, yeah.
Like they had 3D be specifically when they were in the computer game, and then 2D be real life. Like
Mm.
that was great because they accented each other in like an amazing way within the story, and it made sense. But I digress.
And welcome to my TED Talk.
In this essay, I will be discussing.
So, at your school, like, are any of you still in school? No. So how many of your like collaborative projects started like in school? Are they all or have they all been post school?
I think for me, most of them have been post school, just because my degree, even though I was doing like the animation classes, my degree was designed to have like a gallery show at the end, which was completely yours.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys.
I didn't have a senior show because my degree, I didn't realize I wanted to do art until that last semester. So most of my projects have been afterwards. And this is the first big one that I'm working on. A lot of them have been like little small ones. So yeah.
I remember there being one, I'm pretty sure it was towards the end of school, that actually Yasha and I were working on with a
Yasha!
screenwriter. Yasha, a screenwriter from the film program, but it kind of went into pre-production a little bit and then it kind of just stopped. But other than that, this has been my biggest one in animation, definitely.
So, what are you guys doing when you're not working? So, what do you get? What's
pay
your
the bill.
job? What's your job?
My
Yeah.
day job. That's my part.
What was it?
What's our day job? What are our aliases? Our Clark Kents?
I'm
I
teaching
work
fine art.
What?
Where do you teach it again?
Where?
I keep forgetting.
It's for a nonprofit. I don't know if they'd want me to say their name because I just started, so I have no idea
Okay.
how they would feel about that.
Yeah. All good.
What's the word?
And then I'm just retail. But the store is closing, so I need to find a new job. I love life.
I manage a thrift store, which is actually a nonprofit for missions, which is really interesting because my first degree is actually in missions. So I'm on the other end of it.
Yeah. Which is cool. That's it's a common thread amongst creatives.
Yeah.
Just because you're not at a big studio or whatever doesn't mean that you have to stop.
Right.
And we were kind of talking about this
Yeah.
before we came on the air. We're talking about how, I'm a huge fan of independent, especially 2D, independent 2D projects and everything. And I don't know why people do this to themselves. They go to school for animation, they get good at it, and then they miss one or two job offers or whatever, not even job offers, but just available jobs. And then they're like, screw this, I quit.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is my pep talk to those guys. It's never been cooler to be an artist and work on your own stuff in the history of the planet. It's never been cooler.
Social
Let 'em
media, I
know.
feel like, has been like a game changer.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Just being able to reach out to people and not just social media either. Like social media, Ground Zero is where we met Adrianna, you know what I mean? So it's all that stuff, that little art community buildup thing that we have going on. Why are you quitting?
Also, I feel like there's never been a better time to do stuff independently because of how much technology and like access we have to just do it.
Yeah.
Like,
And price is not even an issue anymore. We just got done talking about how doing your storyboard for free.
yeah,
Literally.
the
Yeah.
whole
I
damn
rest
thing.
my case.
Yeah.
And you can animate. And the cool thing, like, here's another thing for you guys that want to do 2D animation frame by frame. Do a flip book animation in Sketchbook.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It's
So
amazing.
then what you do is you have this project. Now it's done. You put it on Vimeo, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. It doesn't matter. You put it out there. If you continue to do work and you continue to put out stuff, a bunch of things are going to happen. Some of the ones are going to be, one, you're going to get better at art. Prime example. I know I still have a long way to go. I'm still not that good, but I'm a lot better than when I first started.
Yeah.
Two, you're gonna have a bunch of cool stuff, and every time that you do something new, you're gonna get better and a little bit faster. And
Yeah.
three, Jack, help me out here. There's studios that they go to Instagram and YouTube to find who they're gonna hire next.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, art directors are sitting on Instagram all day. I mean, most of my Instagram, the folks I follow are other artists.
Same.
Like if those folks pop up in the resume thing, or I am like, oh, I know I should reach out to that person. Totally. Social media is like where you get access to it now.
It's your pre-interview.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because
Totally.
one, they're gonna see your work. Two, you have to be careful what you're putting out there. Because if you're an ass, you're not gonna
That
be
is
called.
true. That is
They will know.
Carlos and I follow a few people that post a lot of questionable material or like their own personal like grievances with the world or themselves, and it's sometimes it's too much. And Lord knows I wouldn't want to get involved with that person.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
I
the
think
new
that's
resume
something.
for sure.
Yeah.
What's that?
I think.
It's the new
I think
resume
that's
for sure.
Yeah. So I guess the follow-up question to my first question of, if any of these have been done in school or, what's your day job and all that, it all kind of leads up to, so it seems like, access has never been better than ever. And, distribution has never been better than ever. So how do you guys do this in your free time? How do you keep going? How's the passion? Like what makes you do this? What makes you want to do this? What makes you continue to do this?
For me, when I graduated, one of my first little gigs that I had was for a video game startup, actually doing backgrounds. And I think that kind of like helped motivate me, being like, oh, I could get paid to do this stuff. Like you talk about it all in school, but then it's like you actually got into the real world and it's just like, oh no, I have bills and loans. What do you do? And I think that was really like, I kind of had a way to say it, maybe like validating in kind of a way, like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
And like, people are always so positive in school, and then like not everybody is necessarily the most honest. So when it comes to, so that was super validating, and I just want to be able to keep doing more stuff like that. And I think that's what keeps motivating me to sit down and draw every day and paint and animate.
Also, she's amazing, but I don't.
More validation.
Yes.
Bring it.
Put it in a box for the bad days.
Do you want to go next, Steph?
Yeah. I feel like now I can't stop. Like even like right now we're in between storyboards, so I have a bit of a lull time. So I'm just working on other storyboards and just doing little minimations for my Instagrams have that be consistent. Like I just can't not do it now. I remember once I had a deadline with D for the storyboards. And I spent, was it 10 hours? So I can't work at home. So I'm going to Starbucks. Yeah, so at that time I was the only storyboard artist. So I went to Starbucks for like 10 hours straight and just drew and drew and drew. And they were done by the time the meeting started. So I was still working on them like with D at the table, like it's not 10 o'clock yet.
That was a fun day, though. I remember that.
I was so sad. I
Yeah,
apologize.
for you maybe.
I was
know,
just
right?
like
Yeah. Yeah.
corner.
Good point.
She was so sweet. She's like, I can get you coffee. I can get you anything. I was like, I'm fine.
I felt
But
so
yeah,
bad. I was like, oh.
it was good. It was like a maniac crazy scene. So I'm like, I just pumped like EDM and was just like, everything's insane. Into the artwork, so it was fine.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think for me, oh, sorry.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think for me, I've gotten to a point where I've tried everything else, quote unquote, and I can't not do this. You know, like
Yeah.
it's not it's gonna sound conceited, but it's not hard for me to work my way up in businesses pretty quickly. But I'm never satisfied because there's such a beauty and subtlety and power that comes with animation in the sense that you can have the main storyline and then put in like subtle hints and subtle clues, and someone might not pick it up, but it still affects their thought process, or it still affects how they view things later. And like even going to Ground Zero, which shout out to Eva and thanks Brynn for inviting me, because
Big
that
shout out to her.
was oh my gosh, Eva's amazing.
Yeah, she is.
And that trip was that was my first time really being able to spend a lot of time with animators, and I got to see so much hope and so much joy and so much people just fully being themselves and trying to get their story like told. And like for me, strings is really important because it's a real representation of me growing up. I've moved like 75 times as a kid, and a lot of people were really nice and took me in, but there were some who didn't realize they had expectations when they helped me out. And so it was this weird tension of like,
Yeah.
I appreciate the help, but I can't do everything you want me to do as a result of it. You know, and what better way to be able to tell stories like that than with this medium that's like light enough for kids to be able to see, but powerful enough for parents to pay attention to.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a great description of the medium, actually. I like that.
Thanks.
See, you got away with words.
It's the pastor in me.
You got the light shining behind you, all dramatic and everything too.
Right.
I just love the dub.
She got her angel look on.
Uh-huh.
So with that, Miss, I'm good at words. Like, talk to us about, say, like the revision process and giving feedback. What's that look like within your little group of animation assassins?
I like that because literally they get ish done. So I would definitely call them animation assassins. That's been kind of hard for me because I love being encouraging and I love like making sure everyone's happy.
Yeah.
And so having to like tell someone like, hey, you're great. I don't know about this, but you're awesome has been really hard for me. That's kind of like why I'm really grateful for the job I have right now, because I have to correct people constantly in my job being a manager. And so that's kind of been able to translate here as far as like, one, it was me, and Steph was amazing at helping me with this in the beginning, because I was like, I have this great idea. This is what I want the short to be like. And she's like, okay, why this, why this, why this, why this? I was like, I don't know, but this is what I want the short to be like. And she like literally had to call me out. She's like, are you gonna like iron this out, or is this gonna be like a really big fluffy thing? And I was like,
Steph was like, look, you gotta bring it in because that's a lot of work for me.
So, yeah, she's amazing at like being like, we need answers.
Like,
I like your idea, but we don't have
Starbucks
answers.
is trying to kick me out. You gotta rein this in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's something that I've been learning along the way and realizing that correction isn't anything personal, in all honesty. And that's been really hard for me. So I'm like, especially with artists, because you know how much work they put into something. Like for Stephanie to work 10 hours on a project, come and still be working on it, and then for me to look at it and be like, okay, here's what I need you to change. I was like,
right.
oh, So that's something that I'm like learning how to say with authority,
Yeah.
but still keeping the hey, you're great in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Literally, the
What do you
text
say?
message are great.
What are some, let's go with Steph, since she's the one that has to handle all of this feedback. What would you say to say a younger artist or a less experienced artist that has to deal with feedback?
I think Dee said it well when it's like, don't take it personally. It wasn't because it was a good idea, but it didn't serve the story.
Mm,
This
that's
is
really
something
good.
we talk about our film class all the time. If it doesn't serve the story, take it out. Like, it doesn't need to be in there. Save it for something else. And so that's something I would just say. Does it serve the story? And then you have to also remember, as like a storyboard artist, you are not the director. You are here to help the director get the story across. Yes, you can like bring up ideas and like shoot things at the wall, see if it sticks. But we have to make sure we're getting their story across. Like, because if you want to do that, then you need to be a director, because this ain't the job.
Right. Right.
You're a
And then
translator.
also keeping the momentum going, because I know whenever I'm doing boards, I'm like going through getting them out, and then Dee's like, we need to change this. Like sometimes at the beginning that would kind of stop me, and then I'd slowly start drawing again, and then slowly get up to the momentum.
Yeah.
So trying to keep the momentum going even when changes are happening.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it's important too, just building off of what you said. Well, number one, just detach. Unfortunately, like at the end of the day, it's a team.
Yeah.
Right. And I guess since Adrianna is the one who started this whole thing, like she gets dibs on yay or nay, right? That's the director's job.
Yeah.
So detach yourself from the work, and know that the more information you get up front, the more. I'll let Jag chime in on this because that was a very strong agreement.
I felt that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was gonna let you finish, but
no, that's pretty much it. Just collect as much information up front.
yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of like front loading info. It can be super overwhelming up front, but I've found it always pays off in the end. It's like if you can be as honest and and that's not just like info like this has got to be red and that guy's big, and not all just like technical info, but like just info about your vision and yourself and who you are, and being truthful and honest and giving yourself info, if that makes any sense. It's a lot of this is also about like knowing your role in the project and then being honest about your shortcomings, your strongs, your strengths, and just the more you can be open and honest and talk about that up front, not just in those sort of like personal ways, but also in the needs of the project, that it's all going to pay off in the end. Because if everybody's on the same page and they can kind of all understand where each person's at, it's like then there's far fewer surprises later on. And to Carlos's point, that kind of goes both ways. It's like don't get under the like misconception that like just because they're the director they know everything and everything has to come from them. I mean, I think the storyboard artists it's a very collaborative back and forth thing, it's also the storyboard's responsibility to kind of tease and pull information out of them and collect all the information that they need, and then also suggest ideas that may make their life easier or work better for the story. So it truly is a collaborative effort, and I make no mistake that pretty much any role that you're in, it doesn't all just like funnel from one person. It is truly a collaborative effort.
Yeah, and Stephanie's been amazing with helping with that. And Brynn, I've called Brynn a few times too. Been like, I don't know how to explain how I feel about this, and she will like help talk it through with me. And I think that I had to learn how to let go and not take it so personally either,
Mhm.
because the project,
Mhm.
the story behind the project was so important to me. I was
Right.
like, the story has to be told. And then Stephanie be like, well, why does it have to be told this way? And I was like, because it's cool, you know. But if there's a better way to tell the story, there's a better way to tell the story, and the important thing is
Yeah.
the message gets across, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that was important that you knew to say, like, I don't know why I want this way, or I don't know, like that. That's kind of what I meant about being upfront and honest, even about like your personal limitations, like, because the last thing you want is like a producer or some high level person coming in and just claiming they know everything, and then in the worst possible case they don't actually know what they're doing, but they're afraid to admit that and they disguise it, and that is
Ooh,
always
I
a
hate
recipe
those.
for disaster. Always.
I hate that situation.
It's like not that big of a deal if you walk into a room and you're the director and you say, look, I don't really know anything about character design. Like that's totally fine to say, because
Right.
that's why you hired a freaking character designer.
Yeah.
Right.
If
Like,
you could do it, why did you hire someone?
yeah.
And I feel like being willing to admit that you're not the smartest person in the room gives you access to being the smartest person in the room, because you're willing to learn from other people.
That's
Right.
totally true. That's a perfect way of summing it up.
The humility of knowing that you don't know lets people know that they can share their information with you.
Yeah. It opens the trust and the line of communication.
Right. And sometimes there's plenty of times where I might know the answer. I'm trying to build my relationship with said person.
Yeah.
And so I let them give me the answer anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even, it's just building that rapport. Like, I trust you enough to tell me what's going on. And if you're giving me that information and it doesn't quite match up with what I was expecting, then I'll like guide you to it. But this is one of the very important things now that we're talking about everyone working in retail. When I was in college, I worked at the Apple store. And one of the big things that they taught us was, if someone asks you a question about doing something on the computer, you can explain it to them, but you leave your hands off of the computer, and that's on purpose. When people are doing something or explaining something to you, that's forcing them to think it through. And so it's going to stick better. Rather than you just sitting there doing it, because if you did it and tried to explain it, their brain is going to go somewhere. They're like, oh, I got to do my sketch zone fun prompt. Right. And you're trying to teach them something.
Yep.
So Brynn, talk to me about your experience so far with this project. What was it like when they first approached you?
Okay.
When we coordinated.
Yeah, so I had no idea at first what they like invited me to talk about, because we met at a Classic Coffee, and I had known the last time.
She's like, look, I'm not selling Amway. No.
Well, it's like the last time Adrianna and I had seen each other is when we were talent hosts at the Annie Awards, which was an amazing experience. Oh yeah, that's another story for a different day. And then we were there for a while, and then they approached me with the project, and that's also where we met Jordan. Yeah, so it kind of sort of fell into place very naturally. Like, I didn't even realize that they wanted to talk to me about a project. I was just like, cool, hang out with friends, and then this sort of just, they brought it up to me, and I was like, all right, I'm on board. Like, this seems really exciting.
That's how they get you.
Lure you in with free coffee.
This is all very reminiscent of my experience with Scientology. No, I'm just
Passing out pamphlets. Would you like to join our animation program?
Would you like a free coffee? Please come in.
Come in. Have a seat.
There's a volcano in the background.
Ignore it.
Well, for the most part, so far so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
How long have you been a part of the team?
I want to say it was October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
And then you have a group of guys that are also part of the team. What was that like when was it for the most part primarily girls for the beginning part of this?
Yeah, we were really impressed. We were like, oh my gosh, it's just females. Yes. Like we got excited about it. We were like, yeah. And then we talked about Powerpuff Girl characters we were gonna be, and like a lot happened.
And then you brought in boys. How did that affect the dynamics?
It's been interesting because the guys aren't as hands-on in a sense. So the most hands-on guy is Austin, but Austin lives in Simi Valley, and he just joined the team a month ago.
Okay.
So he's the baby of the group, only by tenure, not by age. And Brandon and Sean was one of my students way back when he was in high school, and he's a musical prodigy. He is just phenomenal. And so he has met with Stephanie and Brynn, like we've had meetings with them, but for the most part, he's been separate working on the music for it.
Cool.
Yeah, and then Brandon, I actually am usually the only one who meets with Brandon just about making sure the story message stays true. He's really good at storytelling. And so sometimes I get so wrapped up in the art that I don't always remember like, oh, the message, you know what I mean? And so he's like, well, how is this for the message? And things like that. So for the most part, the girls were the main ones who are really working on a lot of it, but Austin's been jumping in recently and he's been doing a lot. So it's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
He's what?
He's knocking it out of the park.
Oh my gosh.
The
dude.
first images we saw of his work, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
We're going up a notch. We're going
okay,
up a notch.
you don't suck. Okay, cool.
I'm like, I'm gonna go sketch for 3 hours every day now. It's cool. We're gonna be great.
Right. Carlos, I just sent you the character designs he did for the doll on your phone.
Oh, they're so cute.
Oh my gosh, I fell in love with her. She's like my screensaver now, and I literally show everyone. I'm like, look at my baby. Look at Anna. She's so cute.
I'll do that storyboarding her. Like when like one of the notes we got for me, because like I said, I'm very new to storyboarding, was like take your time with character and like developing your character, especially at the beginning. So I kind of just like let her interact with her environment a little bit, and like she would do the cutest little things, and I'm like, why she's so cute, like gotta squeeze her. She's so little, and like look,
hey, Joey Wall is here. I told you guys.
Joey.
Good morning.
Welcome, Joey.
Good morning, Joey. Have a good Friday.
Oh, he's in the future.
And that's right.
Who wins the next game? Whatever sport is playing.
That's funny. What's the lottery number?
Yeah,
please educate us all.
All right, I'm going to open up this and I'm going to share it.
Do it.
Not
so
share
cute.
it, but I'm going to. Here we go.
One thing we've talked about is doing a Patreon and making Anna dolls to sell.
Yo, yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, because these are cute.
Right?
Oh, he did such a good job. And I was like, how did you know this is what we wanted?
That could totally be a plushie. Total plushie.
Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
she'd be so comfy. Like,
and then you'd have to leave like a little string hanging out of somewhere though, but it can't be attached to anything. It just because you don't want kids to be ripping their toys wide open, but
right,
a little string. Yeah, that's cute.
She's adorbs. Tilt adorbs.
So let's talk about the kind of like the boring stuff of animation. Like, how many spreadsheets have you created?
Not many.
No, yeah, we have it. The main thing that we've had to do over and over again is storyboards. Stephanie's done 2.5 storyboards, and there was one she had been working on for a minute, like 2 or 3 months. And then I called her. I was like, "Hey, so we're scrapping that." and this is what we're doing. So she was also really good at making the pre-production Bible. So we have like all the minutes from our meeting. I wrote the script out, things like that. But as far as spreadsheets themselves, we haven't really done too many of those yet.
Wow. So how do
I
you
know.
guys track like tasks or assets or I don't know, anything like that? How do you track stuff back and forth and stay organized?
Most of that's
Drive.
me. What'd you say?
Google Drive.
Yes, that
Google
definitely
Drive
helps
is
a
your
lot.
friend.
And then like twice a month, I'll send out an email on Sundays like, "Hey guys, here's the update. Here's where we're at. Here's what I need. Let me know when and where you can do that."
Got it. So you do have some like shared admin stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Google Drive has been big.
Has everyone been here? I'm going to put you guys on blast, or
No.
maybe some folks on blast. So let's say you're expecting some work to be done at a certain time, but it's not done. How comfortable are you, like, grabbing someone by the shoulders and shaking them and said, "You said this was going to be done"?
Not very. That's something that goes back to like, I'm glad I have the job I have so I can learn how to do things like that.
Yeah.
Because I'll be like, oh, I'm sure they have something important going on, you know. And so I've had to be more strict with that now recently. Especially with some other people who are on the projects. I've had to kind of call out and be like, hey, I love you. Again, you're amazing. But I might need you to be amazing somewhere else, unfortunately. Which isn't a fun conversation to have, especially when right now I can't pay everybody. So
So let's hang on. Let's talk about that because I think most people have tried to put together like a personal project and get together a team, and very often it's not for pay. And finding those people even willing to do that sometimes is really hard. So you're in a unique situation where you have someone who's willing to work for you for free, and then they're
right.
getting in the way, or they're problematic, or they're just not hitting the goals. Like, let's talk about this Seinfeld episode where you're letting someone go that doesn't even really work here.
It's rough. It's not fun at all. It becomes one of those things where you kind of have to talk to them and see where they're at. And I do this at my job too, because my job is 87% volunteer and 13% paid staff. And so if a volunteer doesn't want to come in, they just don't come in. And then I find out that the register's been bare for 2 hours or something. So
Whoa.
like doing
Right.
that here, yeah, right? It's like, oh, people haven't been paying for stuff. There's an open door. Great. But so it's like taking the time to actually kind of hear where they're at and be like, "Oh, you need to stop? Like, is that something that needs to happen? Are you interested in that? And if you are, I appreciate you being willing to do this for free. But I need to know what that commitment level looks like. And if we need to adjust that commitment level, then let's do that. Because I want you to be a part of it. And it sounds like you want to be a part of it. So are you going to make this a priority or not?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where we go with that. So it's an interesting dynamic because you don't want to diminish what they're doing. You don't want to diminish the fact that they're doing it for free. And the goal is to pay to the best of my ability, you know. And I still like try and find different ways to say thank you, and I'm trying to find ways to either like pay for things or like treat them to things or things like that. And I'm working on finding better systems for that. But it's still a thing of like, I think respecting the other person, but also taking pride in the project that you're working on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
I will say he's always been really good at like checking in, especially like, because like I've said it already, like sometimes everything that I said was going to be done wasn't done on time, but she's always been like, okay, she's really good at the check-ins. Like, is this because you just didn't want to do it, or is like something happening? Do you need a break? when there's you never feel like there's a judgment or like a, oh God, we have to like find someone else to do this because you can.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
Right.
never ever that tone. It's very like respect. We definitely feel that on the other side of it.
Yeah. And the cool thing about it is like so for this, like being able to tell them, hey, I'm gonna be in a podcast, I want you guys to be on it, or hey, we're gonna go to Ground Zero, do you guys want to come? Like trying to find ways to like help boost what they're doing too, because the goal of the short is to get into the Academy Awards and to get into the Annies. Like that's the goal. That's what we're aiming for. That's what we want to do. But along the way, I want it to be profitable for them in some way, shape, or form. And I think you talked about this in one of your podcasts a while ago, Carlos, about if you don't get paid with money, find other ways to get paid.
Yeah.
And so I've been trying to find other ways to pay them or give them like free publicity to the best of my ability so that they know how much I value their work and their time.
Yeah. And that's one of the challenges of being the I'm trying not to say bad words, but the poop starter, right? Like that was a challenge for me with this show, because I wanted Jack and Charlie and everyone to feel a bit of a ownership to it. But me being the guy who started it all, like at first I was like, come on guys, let's do and you're trying to get going and you're trying to make it into a habit, but you don't really want to push too hard because I'm not paying Jack and Charlie either. So you know what I mean? So it's great because they're part owners too, and Sketch Zone is 100% employee owned and all that stuff. So
they're my benefit. I don't see any benefits.
I know, I don't either. But no, like that's the hard part, and not to mention Jack and Charlie are two of my longest, most best friends, right? And so I don't ever want to push so hard that that they're like, man, forget this. I don't want to do this anymore. That's not worth it. But at the same time, you have to keep the wheels on the road to get the momentum going. And it takes a while. It's a lot of work. But I think we're doing a really good job of keeping each other motivated. And now it helps a lot that Landon's not here anymore, so I can talk nicely about him. But it was a very big help with Landon coming and helping out, and he's always on Discord and he keeps that conversation going, and that's huge. Just because like we all, Jack has a full-time job and Charlie has a full-time job, and even Landon is working his butt off, and I'm trying to grow my studio and blah 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 and all this stuff. So you get wrapped up in all this stuff, but I don't think we yell at each other, which is helpful.
We had one blowout, and that was it.
Nice.
And they still kept me on the team. No kidding. So yeah. So I like what you said as far as the future of this animation. You're looking to get into some festivals and win.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Oh yeah.
We're going for it.
Not to put any of you guys on the spot, but once this is done, are you guys looking to possibly work together some more? Or like Brynn, are you like, yeah, this has been fun, but You know, we good. I'm done here.
Thank you for
Gucci
the
Malui.
experience.
So far I wouldn't mind continuing to work with them. Obviously I don't know how the end product's going to be yet, but
Look at
if not on a project, at least in some other capacity, you know. I like these people. They're great.
Oh, good. Okay.
Why were you worried?
Adrian is like good because this next one is going to be a full length feature.
It's huge. And we're doing voices this time.
I know. I remember that conversation. I like straight up was like, is she gonna talk? Because if she talks, animators have to sync to a voice actor. We have to get a voice actor. We have to get a script.
The whole conversation just voice. It's beautiful.
When do you guys think this will be done? Roughly.
That's been the question, because we had a site where we were gonna have all the equipment we needed for our interns. Unfortunately, that fell through, and they're supposed to start in September. And so I'm trying to figure out how to get the supplies, get the Toon Boom for them. Luckily, they'll get the student one, so to make it a little cheaper and things like that. But if we can get the interns to help with the in-betweens and we have a spot for them to work, the goal is to start submitting it next August. That'd be the goal.
Nice.
Getting there.
Nice.
No, very cool.
Awesome.
Where can folks find this? Or do you have like a blog? Do you have some works in progress? Do they
a YouTube channel?
We don't have a YouTube channel
Threadless
yet.
store? Anything?
We have a LimeWire. No, I'm kidding.
Going ancient.
I know. Throwback Thursday.
Room me back.
Strings.asf is our Instagram page. It's a little dated because we're revamping it, especially with the new stuff that Austin submitted. We're going to put that on soon. And Movima with Yasha, the production company, is going to help really work on boosting our social media cred, because for some reason I'm 28, but I act like I'm 45 and struggle hardcore with social media. So Yasha and Stephanie have been helping with that. Stephanie helped a lot in the beginning, and Yasha's gonna help.
I tried.
You did a lot better than I did. Let's be real.
I feel like social media it hits some people well and it missed the rest of us.
Just missed the rest. We did not do well. So Yasha's gonna help with that. But strings.asf is where you'll get all the updates and everything.
Awesome. And while we're talking about finding, why don't you guys run through? Adrianna, go first. Brynn, you can go second, and Steph, you can go third. But let us know where we can find you and follow up on your work and all that good stuff.
Yeah, mine is Hadassah's Air. It's really hard to spell, so I'll type it in the chat. So that is my Instagram, and that's the best way to reach me, in all honesty.
Awesome. Brynn.
So for me, mine would be, my Instagram is at Brynn Sparling Art. Brynn is spelled with 2 N's. I was trying to type it in the chat, but apparently I don't have a channel right now on this account, so I can't even do that.
I'll type it in.
And there's a link on that to my portfolio site. I think my Behance is also Brynn Sparling Art, but I'm not 100% sure. I have to look.
And I know that we have some links that that Adrianna shared with me in the show notes. So
drop those in the chat too.
This is mostly for people that are listening on iTunes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, then look up Jordan Raskin too, because he's awesome. And he's been the guy who's been mentoring our storyboards every time we finish one. And it's Jordan Raskin. Very simple.
Nice.
And how about you, Stephanie?
I just have an Instagram. I'm working on my portfolio. Wish me luck. But my Instagram is Gaia the Creator. Gaia spelled the Mexican way, 2 L's.
Yeah, girl.
Hey.
While we're at it, hey Jack, how about you?
You can find me at sketchbookjack.com and sketchbookjack on Instagram mainly.
Excellent. Thank you all very much for participating.
Yeah, thanks for coming
Yeah.
on. And
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you. We
Yeah,
had
thank
a
you for having
blast.
us.
It was so fun.
I'm legit trying to find. There we go. Hey, I'm Carlos. You can find me at coconutjustice.com, Coconut Justice everywhere else. YouTube.com/coconutjustice. Do your boy a favor. Go there and subscribe. I promise you, it's good content, like legit good stuff. I'm doing tutorials. I'm telling stories. I'm doing vlogs. I have cartoons. I'm doing cartoon karaoke. I'm sitting in a car with a cartoon character, and I'm singing and doing fun things like that. But I don't sing.
You have to sing.
I know he tries.
Oh no, I try.
He didn't
I
mean
full
he
on
doesn't,
try.
as in physically doesn't.
No, like it's a train wreck, but it doesn't stop me.
Wrecking ball.
It's a wrecking ball.
I think that needs to be your next one. Actually,
My singing like a wrecking ball.
Oh, I get it now.
that needs to be your next.
Can we just do part of the music video? I just think that needs to be animated or filmed with your face on the wrecking ball.
We can do that. You don't scare me.
Live it up.
So yeah, that's coconutjustice.com, Coconut Justice everywhere else. I'm trying to find Charlie's information. Let's see if I can get it here. Let's see.
So many.
Yeah, I know.
TBW3.
we gotta work on Jupiter. Let's see. Charlie B. Williams is cargocollective.com/Charlie B. What is it? Charlie B. Williams. He is on Instagram, and Instagram is Charlie BW3. And of course, if we don't say that he's on Pinterest, he's gonna get all
Yes,
We'll have a blowout
needs to
fight.
start
We'll have
paying
our
him.
second blowout fight.
Yeah, we'll have a second blowout fight.
I feel like he gets paid by Pinterest.
Seriously. So yeah, if you can go to sketch.zone, this is episode. I've only been talking English almost my entire life, but this is episode 187.
Ooh, we're creeping on 200.
Boom.
Are you guys
Yeah,
gonna do anything
do it up big
special?
for 200.
For 200? We'll probably
You have to have
plan-
every single guest that you've had in all the episodes all on at once.
right?
Yes. That
You
was
get
super
45
creepy at all.
seconds. Go.
Go.
Elevator pitch.
So yeah, if you go to sketch.zone, you'll see 186 other episodes. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please do us a favor, subscribe. Subscribe and tell your friends. All of that helps us tremendously, because then what we do is it brings validity to what we're doing, and then we can reach out to people like the strings team and talk to them about their progress and their process, and we all learn together. That's how we get through this together.
Yeah.
Together.
Teamwork.
Makes the dream work.
Yeah.
You know.
Look at.
I felt that.
Go ahead, do it, Jack. You're
What?
leaning in towards the mic. Oh, you're leaning in towards the microphone. I thought you were going to come in with some.
No.
Oh, you don't want to talk about spirit at all. None of that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Oh,
Landon does want us to mention Discord.
Landon, we
I
have
don't know
Discord.
the- I don't
Hey,
know the
Landon, do we have a URL that people can go to? That's
Because
not.
otherwise it's
code.
Discord XYR5352.
Yeah, yeah. We'll figure that out.
always
But
drop
yeah,
it in
we're on
there.
Discord, and you guys will love Discord, because Discord is just basically an extension of this show. Everyone is still sharing information. They're still talking about Landon. They're still like they
Sharing art.
strong landing.
yeah, we share art. when Elizabeth first released her animation, she shared it on the Discord. We give feedback. If you're working on logos and all that stuff, like our Discord channel has legit professionals in there giving feedback. So yeah, go ahead and do that. Hashtag support Landon. No.
I just felt like he needed a little something. I forgot to give someone's Instagram for the listeners. Is that okay?
Do it now.
Inksmith illustration for Austin, our awesome character designer. That was it.
Shout out to Austin, awesome character designer. All right, so apparently Landon said it's discord.gg/some algebra carry the 12. Like, we got to fix that. We really got to fix that. So yeah, we're on Discord, and we are on Facebook and such, but we are also on Instagram. And if you are on Instagram and you decide to do a fun prompt, the prompt is a bounty hunter itching in a Sumi style,
Y'all,
which is basically Japanese ink.
And as we discussed earlier in the show, it's supposed to be a fun prompt.
If you don't want to do Sumi, is good. We good.
So sue me.
Sumi.
Don't assume me.
Nice.
You have to do Sumi.
Ooh, that was better than mine. Nice.
Look at, she dropped the mic. She threw up her fingers and put it on mute. I'm done here. She said, I'm done here. You don't get no more. Bounty hunter itching Sumi style.
Nice.
Do that. I almost said get that in your life, but that's Charlie's thing about Pinterest.
True.
So anyway, if you're if you're posting that to Instagram, please go through the process of tagging Sketch Zone Podcast in your post, so that will alert us that you are done, and we're going to take that, repost it, and like you saw at the beginning of this show, we show it to everyone live on the show, and we try to give some constructive feedback, because that's what we do. We try to make everyone better. Elizabeth said, but you guys have already seen it. Is there a point to sharing my film on Discord at this point? Always. Yeah. More views. Yeah. Anyway, shout out to everyone that was live on the chat. Long Arm, Landon, Steve, Elizabeth, who else? There was a few. Joey, Shiloh. I think I got kind of everyone. If I did not, well, we'll see you next week, and you yell at me then.
After the fun prompt.
That's right. First, you have to do a fun prompt. Otherwise, you can't yell at nothing. Yeah. So I think that's it for us, everyone. Have a wonderful week.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.